Today, we're honoring a true basketball legend.
Vince Carter with his first stop.
A player who single-handedly put Toronto basketball on the map.
Here comes Carter and puts it down.
Throughout NBA history, there haven't been many players more electrifying than Vince. In this video, I bring you an inside look into the impact Vince Carter has made on the NBA landscape.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
We've seen Mike fly, we've seen Doc fly, and Dominique, we've seen him, fly. We've seen Clyde Drexler fly. But Vince, he took it to another level when you talk about flying. And we hadn't seen nothing like that.
We all know Mike. Mike was different. Like Dr. J was Dr. J. Then Mike came with the whole
swag too.
You know what I mean? Everything else, different, a little different. And then Vince took it to another level after Mike.
That excitement to it.
Vince was like the closest thing to Michael Jordan, bro. Like one of the shot makers. Listen, handle, strong, hops, nigginess. He had everything. Yeah. He was a matchup nightmare. He was just as strong as a 3, right? And you couldn't put a 2 on because that was too small. You couldn't put a 4 on that either.
That first step.
Listen, he had his first step, he in the air. He driving like a guard. He driving like AI. AI's quickness, it was because he would get a shoulder by, man, Vince Carter, once he in the air, he was strong off the ground, like strong. I'm talking about like, if P and I right now jump, and gravity is what it is. Vince Carter somehow, some way would
absorb your hit and still keep going up.
He was, listen, I can't even put in words how good he was.
Like, shit you ain't never seen before.
And then his jumper was so pretty. His handle was so crazy.
First step was crazy.
His first step was so crazy. Because if he get by you, you know what's going on.
It's over. Grab before he take off.
Vince was that guy where you like, if you get one dribble inside that 3-point line, you better move.
Even in college, right?
Even in college. You better move or you're gonna be on the poster.
So D-Wade is gonna remember this story. We're playing against the Raptors, and I'm, telling Vince, like, yo, man, you gotta do something. So Vince goes baseline against me. I gotta flagrant him. He my man and all, but I'm like, I can't have Vince dunk on me. Flagrant him. I get a foul, I go to the bench. Couple plays later.
And I go baseline, boom, dunk on Zoe. All right, cool, whatever. When you dunk on Zoe, you better be happy because Zoe coming back, he gonna try to block you. That's just what it is. We get to halftime, I'm sitting in the locker room, I said, hey, RJ, literally, I said this is my words. I said, RJ, we ain't gonna be able to dunk on Zoe again because he gonna knock us out the air. He ain't going for that. So I said, what you gonna have to do, you gonna have to take the hit, bounce off of him, and then hopefully you can dunk it. So second half comes, the ball goes out, RJ tries to make a layup, gets bumped out, I get the ball, go behind the back on my boy Jay Will on Bubs.
Jason Williams has the ball and tries to steal it from Vince. Vince wraps around his back. He comes down the lane and Alonzo Mourning jumps.
And I take 2 dribbles. So I took the first dribble and I see the basket, I see Zoe. So he's sitting there like, yeah, okay, I'm about to block it. But, Jason Collins was so smart, bro. So, he was holding Zoe's arm so he couldn't go. And as I took my second dribble, he let him go. So as soon as he let him go, Zoe was already too late. So once I got in the air, bro, he jumps at me. When he hit me, he bumps me up higher. I'm like, oh shit, the rim is right there. I'm like, bro, don't miss this. This is an opportunity. So I just caught it, and I just remember I was so high, I just threw it through.
Vince caught that thing back and threw it down on. I'm on the bench like this, looking at D-Wade. I'm like, ooh. Ooh. You remember that, D-Wade? You remember that, D-Wade?
Dunk I've ever seen.
Oh, man. Yes.
And I remember running down the court. I just look at our bench like, and I ran down the court. And then D-Wade was beside me. He's like, that ain't right, bro. I remember him saying that, bro. And I laughed, but I tried to play it like I was tough. Like, I was like, I'm in mean mugging, but he said that, but that might have been the funniest thing ever. Like, his teammate got bumped on, he's like, that ain't right.
I was like, oh, man.
But he paused in the midair. Like, that was the crazy thing about the dunk shot, is he paused in midair and let Zoe fall to the ground and then boofed him.
Yeah.
For me, there's something about basketball when a guy, you really look at him and you think he's flying. You're like, what the f***? How did he just do that? And Vince was that guy.
I think because he played so long, people forget how amazing Vince was.
Oh my God. That guy right there was the most exciting.
He took the world by storm.
and his style. He just changed the culture.
Vince Carter was supposed to lead us into the post-Michael Jordan era. I mean, he was that good, bro. I mean, he was supposed to be the next Jordan,
All
bro.
facts.
He was a nightmare.
A nightmare.
I'm not gonna even lie. That was the one only player I felt like I was on an island with no water, with no food. My clothes is dirty. I've been out there like 10 days. That's the type of I felt like when you was on that isolation with Vince Carter, because when you're not playing against him and you see them highlights and you come home and you like damn for like a good 10 minutes and then you gotta actually see it, you like, oh shit, I don't want that to be me.
My first introduction into the NBA was Vince Carter, pull it back, dunk. My first game, we playing against Vince Carter. We're playing against Vince, and you know, I'm in there cocky. Man, he's trash, man. The TV make these players look better than they really are. And he missed like 2 straight shots. So I'm already trash. I knew he was trash. And then he got mad, and then got in the post spin move and cocked it. Oh, boom, right? I jumped out the seat. Oh my God, I'm on the court. Joe, y'all see that? And I'm on the bench like, yo, did you see it? Man, he done touched it. Like, it was the best thing I've ever seen. But what ended up happening was reality kicked in, because I'm like, he just did that to Jason Richardson. And I'm here, and I'm like, oh man, I can't even play in this league, bruh. And I got so depressed just from the dunk. Realized like, yo, I don't have this type of athleticism. Like, he was the NBA player that scared me, and yo, I'm not good enough in the NBA. I was depressed. Like, I'm not good enough. I spent probably the first part of the season just like, I can't do this. I can't do none of that.
I was with him for 4 seasons, and when I tell you, I have never seen anything like Vince Carter. And I was fortunate enough to play with LeBron, obviously LeBron's size, but there was nothing that I have ever seen this man not be able to do. Left-hand finishes, left-hand dunks, 360 layups, handle it like a point guard. To me, he is the most talented player that I've ever seen in my life.
Obviously, I think most talented player I've ever played with, Kobe, played with or against, but I'd say physically God-given talent, Vince has it for everything you just listed.
Vince, easily one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life. Just someone that could throw a football 70 yards, could still dunk it 46 between his legs without warming up in a suit. Shoots jump shots left-handed like he's a right-hander from half court with no effort. 3/4 court from his ass. Though, like, he was just different. He was just one in golf. Like, Vince does it all. Just one of those incredible athletes. And it was just an honor to kind of get to see that night and night. I just see incredible dunks and incredible scoring.
Who was more athletic, man? You or Vince at that time?
Vince. I'm not with him. Not at all. He was incredible. You know, I played on a junior team Florida, and he was on the big boys team Florida. So I used to play before him. And the that I used to see him do in high school, like damn near touching the top of the backboard, looking down and dropping the ball in the basket, like it was incredible. Incredible. Wow. A lot of people, like Vince in high school, bro, I think he broke his right wrist in the state finals. He broke his wrist and dropped 35 with the left hand.
What?
Yeah, man. Vince's basketball, bro, he's one of the most talented dudes ever.
Like, yo, Vince Carter has to be one of the most talented players that ever stepped foot in the NBA.
Ever.
And I think that's where people have kind of looked at Vince and said, oh, no, he was great. And it's like, no, you don't understand. What this man could do, like, you've seen him shoot left-handed threes. You've seen him do all of these things. Vince could do anything on the basketball court, and it made it pretty much almost impossible to guard him. When he first showed up my 4th year in the league in Jersey, he was probably the best player in the league that second half of the season. And if anybody doesn't believe me, go and check out those numbers.
Vince Carter is on that list as one of the hardest guys I've ever had to guard.
No doubt.
And he was one of the ones who had a dynamic to him that was like, God damn. Like, it was nothing do some regular and you'd be like, damn. Like, I remember he in the All-Star game, he rejected, went baseline in 360, and just went down the court like it was, you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? I think they had a court version of showing it, and it was at the bottom, and it went like
that
this.
That shit look crazy.
You remember that shit? Like he jabbed, and he went baseline, and I think he 360 the wrong way, and just kept on going.
Cock that.
Like, man, yeah, Vince Carter, he was really half man, half amazing.
100%.
Like, when I say certain nicknames match up to the play of that person, half man, half amazing.
For sure.
Like to this day, like a 43, 40, go between his legs, like just man, sit and can still play. That's what I'm trying to tell you. 3 ball.
Well, I was always really competitive with Vince. Vince was a year ahead of me in high school.
He's still playing, by the way.
Which is unbelievable. I mean, I saw him windmill the other day, which just goes to his insane athletic ability.
Yeah.
And we played on the same AAU team in high school. We played a tournament together, and I remember how the height that this guy can elevate off the ground was just unbelievable. But he was the #1 shooting guard in that class, and I was coming up behind him. And everybody, Vince. I was like, okay, I want to see what this is about, sort of thing. We never got a chance to go head to head, and then when he came to the NBA, that was a great opportunity to do that.
Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, Dr. J, Vince Carter, and yourself. Now that is a powerhouse. In the prime of all those players' careers, who wins a dunk contest?
Vince.
What?
Yeah, I would say Vince.
I got it.
Yeah, you know, Vince is a special dunker, man.
And you see what he can do?
He's a special dunker. And I think MJ, did some stuff that was revolutionary for his time, as did Dr. J. And, the way Vince dunks the ball, the way that he's dunked the ball when he was in a dunk contest was unbelievable.
You know what I thought about? Because I know he participated in, what was it, 97 dunk contest?
Yep.
And we had the lockout, the next year?
Yep.
You and Vince, you think you would have got it in?
No.
Why?
No, I will enter into things that I know I can win.
See, that's why I want to get in.
Nope.
My exact answer is like, why?
I'm not going to have Vince Carter beat me. It's not going to happen.
We need to tell everybody this story about why I got in that dunk contest. We stayed in the same condo building.
Right.
And I know he's going to win, right? So I didn't want to get in the dunk contest.
Right.
Listen.
Okay, fine, go ahead.
We all
know.
I've been seeing this the whole year. And we're sitting in his condo. We go back and forth. And he was like, come on, man, get in.
Right.
I'm like, for what? Why am I getting in? I'm not gonna come in first. What I'm getting in for? It's like, come on, T-Mac, man, come on.
I'm like, cuz, why the hell I'm getting in this dunk contest and you with it? Like, well, we know what's gonna happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not for losing. Like, I didn't want to do it because I knew, this is my teammate. Like, I see him every day and what he's capable of. Why I want to enter the dunk contest, I know this dude is going to win it.
He would say it was a bad idea. He's like, let's just back out. He's like, I'm backing out. I wouldn't let him back out because I knew he had something to show the fans, and we talked about this. Let's give them what they wanted.
Come on, man. It'll be good exposure for you and this and that. I'm just turning him down like, nah, bro. But I'm with you every day. Yeah. I see what you can do. I can't do that. Man, you underestimate yourself, cuz. You can, man. You creative. But that shit you on. That's another level, bro. So we kept going back and forth for weeks on this. And finally, I just said, the hell with it. I'll settle this time for second or third, whatever place.
There is the man that this crowd wants to see.
Getting there to the arena that day was probably the worst of all. My car didn't show up, so we missed our practice time because we were late. Like right before it was my turn, I still didn't know what to do.
All right, here is Vince Carter with his first stop. Let's go home. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
That first dunk set the tone. That 360
windmill. We ain't never seen that before.
Boy, when he did that dunk, everybody looked at Jerry Stackhouse. He was there. Yeah.
How you follow that up?
Everybody looked at Jerry Stackhouse like, good luck, brother. But hey, boy, that's a hard following right there, boy. That was tough.
That was the first time I've ever done that in my life. I'm coming up with stuff tonight, and it's working. It's over for people.
Ain't no point total. He's off the chart. Really off the chart.
The arm in the rim, for instance. I didn't want to hear ooh, ah. I wanted to hear nothing. I wanted the crowd to be in awe and not say a word.
That performance at the 2000 dunk contest remains Vince Carter's signature moment in the NBA.
How would you do in a dunk contest with Vince Carter today?
I think it would be fun. I think the fans would certainly get entertained. It doesn't matter who wins because you're going to see creativity at its best. I think it's an all art form of creativity. When Dominic and I was going at each other, and at the time, I think the creativity was always us. We didn't bring in guys to jump over, chairs to jump over. It was all just how can you use your imagination? And I think, Vince was very, creative last year. I think that's one of the reasons he became the crowd's favorite. I think what we took from Dr. J, David Thompson, was to take it to another level. And it's tough. It's tough to be out there and try to come up with something that fans hadn't seen.
Now, I'm a guy, my imagination runs wild. I had a couple of dunks that I didn't do in the dunk contest that I was like, ooh, I can go back to trying this and this and this. And if it were to come about, but it didn't. But it would have been awesome.
It would have been awesome. Who wins? You gotta say you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm winning.
I mean, Vince is out there windmilling, man. It's like, I think you should enter the dunk contest.
Man, come on, don't get on that with her, bro.
Seriously. I mean, he'd be 42-year-old dunk contest champion.
Bro.
Come on, man. How amazing.
Now you trying to say here's a killer.
Oh, hold on. This guy was doing stuff back
you.
in the day these kids still can't do to this day.
Can you look at the camera and tell him? Because Vince told me the other day he wasn't going to do it.
He should. You should.
Man,
You win another one. Have you seen the dunk contest these last few years?
You know, you spoke about playing with AI. You spoke about playing with code. Like, what just made Vince so much different? Like, because he had the athleticism, but he had the finesse too.
Yeah, he was skilled. Super skilled. He's just one of the most, I think, God-gifted athletes I've ever seen. But then he worked and he was very skilled too. He was just different. I think, everyone that you mentioned, worked hard, and Vince worked hard, but he had a lot of God-given.
It was just natural.
You can't train for.
I still had to put the work. I mean, if you would, Alvin Williams is one of my good friends who I still talk to today. I always wish I had Alvin sitting right here beside me every day, because he would let the world know. We were in there all the time working on my game. Butch Carter, my coach, would not allow me to fail. Charles Oakley would not allow me to fail. My second day in the NBA, he put his arm around me and said, I'm gonna make you a star in this league. I had to believe him. This man played with Michael Jordan, so he's seen it. So I enjoyed playing the game. I enjoyed coming to work to play. Yeah. I had Tracy there my first couple of years.
My second year, we drafted Vince Carter, which is my cousin. Him coming in right away had a phenomenal rookie year. So I was in that shadow like, thank God, take a little bit of this pressure off me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Coming out of high school, he had a phenomenal rookie season, was the rookie of the year. I'm talking about the shit that he was doing was just incredible. So
it was fun going to work, working on our game, going at each other. Like, I don't know. So it was more disappointing for those who knew me and were there to question that when they would see me every day in practice. And you could see my growth and how I got better at my jump shooting, which people didn't think I could shoot. But then when they paid attention to it, they're like, oh, shoot, I didn't know. My footwork, because I started to see how important it was. If I didn't have the work ethic, if I didn't love it, if I didn't have the correct approach, 22 years? I fooled people for 22 years? No way. Particularly in my 40s, nobody wants a guy who doesn't have that work ethic or can teach their young guys at that age. I probably wouldn't even be able to play still, just because I didn't have the work ethic. And that was my approach to all the other guys. Understand this now, because when things change, you're going to have to rely on your work ethic, your love for the game, which I had to do. I love it. There were days I would walk by a weight room in my 40s. But later on that day, I was like, I got to do it or I won't be here. I've always said this, and I will continue to say, I would never disrespect the game because it's been good to me. And look at what the position it's put me in now. I get the opportunity now to be named and tagged a Hall of Famer because of that basketball, and I don't love it. Now we go back to when they said, oh, he has a smile on his face when he plays. Damn right.
Because I love it.
And it's like, this is what I've always wanted to do. And that was my appreciation for it.
So 2000, 2001, I'm in Marquette University, and I'm redshirting. I'm sitting out. And my team went on the road, and the Milwaukee Bucks was playing the Toronto Raptors. So I didn't have a ticket to the game, but I decided to go to the arena with hopes that the security who worked our games would let me in. They did. They let me in, and I was sitting up there with the retired jerseys, real high up. But I got there early because Vince Carter was famous for his pregame workouts, right? So before the games started, Vince Carter would put on a dunk show, man. And I'm talking about all the dunk contest dunks Vince Carter would do. And one of my favorite things that you did at the end before the game started, you always grab the net and you always lift yourself up and did chin-ups on the net. And if you know, or anybody who know me, once I got to the NBA, I would grab the rim before every game and I would do chin-ups on the rim. And it all started from being that young kid that got a chance to get into the arena to see one of his favorite players do some amazing things. So thank you for inspiring me, Vince. Thank you for inspiring a whole generation of players, not only in Canada, but around the world, man. You are one of our GOATs, and just thank you.
Vince had kids actually believing that they can jump if they put on a pair of Nike Shocks.
Very true.
Vince really had you believing that the shock technology in those shoes would make you jump 100%. Like that.
If I had the ball, running the fast break, Vince Carter was on one end and Jesus was on the other one, I had to throw it to Vince Carter.